Guys, I know it's been a little while. Hope everyone's doing well. A little job here today. What's going on with this unit is it keeps tripping out on oil. I'm gonna open this up. I want to check the sensor there for the oil pressure control. It keeps going out. But first order of business, you guys see what's wrong with this? Dryer's in backwards for one thing, so I'm gonna change out the dryer, change out the suction core. I'm gonna give this an oil change because the oil's all dirty. Gonna clean all that up, and we're gonna check that sensor in there, see if this takes care of the problem. All right, so this is what I'm working with right now, guys. I'm getting the oil drained out of here. I just loosen up this cap on the back to let the oil drain out of the crankcase. Just take this little piece from a edge of a pallet here they use when they're packing stuff. I kind of use it as a funnel, just draining it into an old coil cleaning bucket slowly for now. It's really all I got to work with here. I do have one of those fittings that you can screw in here and you pressurize the crankcase and it'll pull all the oil out, but the way this is on this compressor, it won't fit in there. I can't get it in there to turn it, so got to do it like this. A lot of times changing the oil, you always make some sort of mess. It's just the way it is. But see, this oil's kind of dirty, not disgusting, but it's dirty enough. Like I said, I'm changing out the dryer. Obviously, that's in backwards. I want to clean out the sensor for this Centronic control. I put this in like a year ago. Someone was back here doing some other repairs, put a dryer in backwards. I don't know why. I'm going to change out the suction core too, and hopefully this eliminates the problem we're having here about, guys. I forget who makes it, but it works very well. You put this down into the crankcase here, but as you can see, the way this compressor is, if that was in there, I can't turn it. So I can't get it in there to get the threads tight. So, but what you would do, you would put this in here, you isolate your compressor like I have it isolated now. Put a little bit of nitrogen in it, like all you need is like 3 psi, 5 psi. You open this up, and the pressure in the crankcase will shoot the oil right out. You attach a hose to one of these, and the pressure in the case just makes the oil, it comes right out into your bucket or bottle, whatever you're putting it in. It works out really nice. I wish I could have used this on this to show you guys, but I can't the way this compressor is, unfortunately. Else I'm going to do it too, I'm going to remove this oil sight glass. You can see it's all dirty. So I'm just going to clean this up so you can actually see the oil level again. I don't know if you guys can see in there. There's still some oil in there. And coming out there. I'm going to let that drain out of there. You can sort of see in there. Wipe them up. A lot better now, huh? Can actually see through the thing. So, that's all you do, just pop it off. 3 bolts. They're not in very tight either, guys. You don't have to crank these down. If you crank them too tight, you can end up cracking this glass too. I've seen that cracked and broken and leaking on systems over the years too, so be mindful when you're doing that as well. A little strainer, like filter thing I pulled out of the where I'm draining my oil out of. I just cleaned it up a bunch. It's full of shit and sludge. Look at this stuff stuck on here. Okay. All right, get. There's all kinds of shit in there. Got to try to clean up. It's all black. I think it's from this 422D Freon. We've not had good luck with it. It's a shit Freon, guys. Don't use it. If you got R22, put 22 back in. These new gases are all junk. None of them work right, and they fuck systems up. So, don't use it. I know that's messing up crap in this system here. Alright, so what I did, guys, I put my oil sight glass back on. Use a can of R11 flush down into the crankcase. It flushed out a bunch of shit out of here. I don't know if you can see. It's like sludge in here. So you can't really see in there from the camera, but I'm trying to clean out that crankcase pretty good, guys, and get that sludge and crap out of there. I know this R422's got something to do with it. If you got to do a replace 22 with like 407C or something, China, these new gases are complete junk. Alright, so I got all the oil out that we can get out of there, guys. Cleaned up our strainer here. Just gonna put this back in, new gasket. That's in. We're gonna go on to changing out the dryers, then adding oil back to the system. Alright, new dryers in, boys, the correct way. Pulling out this core out of here. Pretty soaked, it's got a lot of oil in it, so get this changed out as well. If you guys don't know how to change them, all you gotta do, I got it in some other videos too, you just take these springs off, the cap comes off, change out your gaskets, put your new core in, slide it back in, bolt it up. That's all you gotta do. The suction core's all in, guys. Just gonna pump in my oil here. Look it up, I'm gonna pump it right into the crankcase and I can watch the level in the sight glass. And we're gonna give this thing a good vacuum and start her up. All right, so I just got my vacuum pump on, guys. I wanna show you, this plug over here is dead. Do not do this. I repeat, do not do this unless you absolutely know what you're doing. These are the 115 wires that were going down to this plug. This plug's bad. I'm tapping into it. They call these things widow makers for a reason. If you don't know what you're doing, you can get seriously hurt. And you've got to have the right voltage. Don't hook them up to 230 or 460 or whatever. I don't like using these things. I actually haven't used this thing in a very, very long time. Don't mess around with them unless you know what you're doing. The only reason I'm doing this is because the only other plug is somewhere inside this building, like 600 feet away, and I don't have enough cord, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm just gonna let this thing sit on a vacuum now. I'm gonna give this probably a couple hour vacuum, and I'll be back to you after that. All right, well, we're back up and running now, guys. Oil level's looking good for now. I may have to add a little more. Our pressures look good. That sensor in there for the Centronic control was indeed dirty and clogged up with that sludge. So I cleaned that out and it's all running. I'm gonna come back in like a week and change the oil out in this thing again. Make sure this thing gets cleaned up completely. So that pretty much wraps it up for this job today, guys. All right, guys, so back home, job's done. Unit's all running good right now. I told my office I want to go back in like 7 days or so and change out that oil again because I know there's going to be more crap in there. What happened before, a little history on this. I know there was a repair done. I don't really know what the repair was. I wasn't the guy that did it. But I think someone ran R11 through the system before to try to clean it up. They didn't get all of it out or something happened and all that crap ended up in the compressor. And I know the 422D does not mix right with certain oils. It says you can mix it with alkybenzene, a mineral, or whatever. I don't know the oil that was in here. This is an old R22 system. It says you can only, what I read today is that you can only mix it in small systems with that oil. If not, it's got to be POE. So I put POE in. But I still don't like that gas. I think it burns out compressors. And I think it's absolute junk. So I would suggest not using it. I don't care if it's old school or not. These new gases suck. They're not like the old stuff. The old stuff works so much better. It's ridiculous. So, and I also was told that Train air conditioners and everything, their units, they won't even allow this 422D to be in it. If they know you did a swap out or something and put that gas in it, they won't warranty your compressors or nothing. So that tells you something. That gas is junk. But anyway, if you got any questions, boys, put them down in the comments. You know, if you're new here, consider subscribing. We're up over 6,000 now, guys. We're getting there. I appreciate it from all you guys and all the support and you guys that have been there all along. I really appreciate it, guys. And I'll see you boys on the next one. and stay safe. Stay out of trouble. You know? I'll catch you guys later.